Okay, welcome from wherever you are in the world. My name is Doyle. I'm an ambassador for a company called ASEA. In the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about their breakthrough technology. I'm going to talk about my story. I'm going to talk about ASEA being a cellular health company and the only company that provides the only complete cellular health solution in the world. I'm talking about the complete cellular health solution. So what I'm going to talk about is the most powerful product on the planet, the single greatest health science, anti-aging, and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. There's 6 reasons why people look at this breakthrough technology at this company, ASEA. First reason is that you may have a health challenge yourself. You may know somebody that has a health challenge. You may not like the way you're looking anymore or feeling anymore as you're aging. You may understand the concept of looking after yourself through nutrition, through exercise, or maybe this breakthrough technology. You may be an athlete, or you may be looking for an opportunity. I'm sure something there resonates with you. So you're going to hear about my story, and you're going to hear about this life-changing technology. Before I start, I just need to go through the company disclaimer that these products, this technology that ASEA provides us, is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. What I'm going to talk about tonight is something that can empower the body to heal itself. So I'm just going to go through my story. I did grow up here in Sydney, Australia. I played a lot of sports, and one of those sports was this thing called bodybuilding. And as a bodybuilder, I owned a business here in Australia that was a bodybuilding shop and a gym, and I had to be a product of the product, and this was the end result. I competed, and as I said, I played a lot of sports prior to this. I did rugby league, I played rugby league, did judo, gymnastics, I did aerobics, I surfed. So I was very, very active growing up. This is in my mid-20s. Got a lot of injuries along the way and a lot of injuries that stuck with me for years and years and years. Now, fast forward, and I wasn't a bodybuilder anymore, but I used to look after myself in my mid-40s by going to the gym at 6:30 every single morning. And I used to do cardiovascular work. So I never used to do the weights that I used to do. So as you know, if you don't use it, you lose it. But I used to look after myself through doing cardiovascular work. So around this time, this was in December 2010, I started to get a little bit of a rash all over my body. I couldn't understand what it was back then, didn't know what was going on. I was under a specialist which was providing me with all sorts of creams from compounding chemists. But 6 months later, I was given some very, very bad news. And this is a photo of me 6 months later. My doctors told me that I had 2 major issues they were going to have trouble dealing with. I was thrown into a hospital here in Sydney and spent 2.5 years in and out of that hospital. And you can see by the way I look, I had no hair from the top of my head to my toes. So you can imagine what they did to me in that hospital and the types of things that I was going through. This was a horrendous time. You know, what I went through, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I was actually putting on a fake smile here. I was with a hero of mine standing next to me, Johnny Manor, who used to play the highest level of rugby league here in Australia. And he'd already gone through those hospital visits that I went through. And he came out of it, he came out of the other end pretty well. But unfortunately, within 2 years of this photo, and he was only 21 years old in this photo, his problem came back. He went into those hospital visits again, and unfortunately we lost him at the age of 23 years old. So what we were dealing with, the issue that we had was very, very serious. After I went through all those hospital visits, the 2.5 years of what I went through and what I put up with, my doctors told me to get my affairs in order. This was a huge shock because I thought I was going to be okay. So I started doing some research, and my research led me to an alkaline diet, and that alkaline diet obviously didn't include the things that I loved having. We're Aussies, we like our barbecues, we like our beer, our wine and our steaks. So all these types of foods and drinks were out the door. I was on a very, very clean diet, trying to suffocate this thing that was inside me. And I spent a lot of money on nutritional products from a lot of companies around the world, good companies with good products. And it was nutrition, it was super juices, it was antioxidants, it was everything that I could get my hands on to hopefully put the right fuel, put the right things in my body to empower my body to heal itself. But unfortunately, everything that I was doing still didn't have a positive effect. So this next photo is a photo of me 2 years later. And 2 years later, after that alkaline diet for 2 years, after looking after myself with all this nutrition, this was the end result. You can see the red and yellow rings around my eyes. You can see the condition of my skin. All this was an indication of what was still happening inside my body. This is in October 2014 when a friend of mine, Bart Cotter, reached out to me, and all he said to me was, "I think I found something that can help." So within a week or two, I was on a plane heading to a place that I've never heard of, Salt Lake City in Utah, in the United States. And I met him in the headquarters of a company called ASEA, ASEA. And this company, as I said, is a cellular health company. The atomic and medical physicist, Dr. Gary Samuelson, who came up with his breakthrough, was talking about the science behind what he had discovered, what the breakthrough that he came up with. I couldn't understand anything that he was talking about. The thing that I did understand was what was in this bottle that was sitting on the boardroom table, this bottle of ASEA, was 100% non-toxic, and it could have health benefits. So that was good enough for me. The other thing was for free, so we started gorging it down. A friend of mine came for the ride, Malcolm Sword. He'd been dealing with a skin challenge for a skin problem for 40 years. He'd spent over $100,000 trying to beat this problem that he had, but to no avail. So we were drinking this product while we're sitting there listening to this presentation. We were there for about 3 hours. The presentation finished. We went back to the hotel room to have a shower to get ready to meet the atomic and medical physicist, Dr. Gary Samuelson, the founders of this company, ASEA, Vertus Norden, Tyler Norden, and the whole corporate team. And when I got back to the hotel, I took my shirt off to have a shower, and I was covered in all these little tiny red spots all over my back, my shoulders, and my chest. Didn't understand at the time that what I was trying to achieve here in this photo, 2 years on this pristine alkaline diet, this very clean diet, trying to expel out of my body what wasn't supposed to be there, trying to expel the toxins, trying to expel anything that was making my body head in the wrong direction, was happening in a short 3 hours. So I've gone from 2 years to this happening in 3 hours. The next morning I woke up and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to test this stuff that we're drinking the day before. And Bart happened to get me some of this product on the morning before breakfast as well. So I went to breakfast and I thought, well, I've had a caffeine intolerance for 20 years. Any more than 2 coffees, I'm buckled over. I've got major discomfort all day and bloating and really, really uncomfortable. So that morning I decided to have 6 coffees. Don't forget, any more than 2 coffees, I'm in a lot of trouble. I had my 6 coffees and I went through the whole day, and there was nothing to remind me of what I endured for a whole 20 years. That issue was gone overnight. Within the next couple of days, we kept drinking the product. We had a little bit of fun and did a bit of sightseeing in Salt Lake City and around Salt Lake City in Utah. And Bart decided to take us to a theme park to have some fun. And we were going to go on roller coasters. There were zombies everywhere. It was Halloween. So we were pretty excited. We were 3 big boys going to have some fun in this theme park. I kept saying to the guys over the 3 days that we were on the product that I felt like Superman. I had all these emotions though, from feeling lethargic and tired to euphoria. But the only way that I could describe what I was going through was like Superman. So we arrived in this car park of this theme park, and I jumped out of the car and said to the guys, I feel like Superman. And I started running across this car park, and I must have run about 100 meters in 12 seconds flat. And I stopped and I stood there, and it was like my lungs were breathing by themselves. I wasn't huffing and puffing, but I can tell you if it was a few days before, I would have been on my hands and knees gasping for air, because all those hospital visits and everything they did to me caused so much damage to my lungs that I used to have trouble breathing and talking at the same time. So I had 3 major wins in a very short period of time over those few days. I went back to Australia. Do you think I kept drinking this stuff, which I still didn't really understand what it was in this bottle? Of course I did. So we were getting it in from America. I was drinking as much as I could afford to take. Unfortunately, I came from being a very successful businessman to losing everything when I lost my health. So I could only take the amount that I could afford at the time. So I kept drinking this product through, October, November, December 2014, through the early part of 2015. Halfway through 2015, in June, July 2015, I was making enough money to take a lot more product. By December 2015, I got some very, very good news from my doctor. He told me the 2 major issues that they were going to have challenges with, dealing with, helping me with for the rest of my life, the rest of my short life, were gone. There was no sign of it. And this is a photo of me the day I got that news. Totally different person. Totally different person from the year before. So this is part of my journey back to health. Not only that, I got some very, very good news in December 2015 about those 2 major issues that were literally going to take my life one day because of what they had to continually keep doing to me in that hospital. But I had major injuries from playing sports that were 30 and 40 years old. I had a neck problem. I had 80% use of my right shoulder, 80% use of my left hand. I had hip problems, back problems, pelvic problems. These things were turning into issues that people get as they get older. So they were aching, and I was in agony all the time. It used to affect my sleep, my quality of life. All these things had gone away by this photo in December 2015. But not only that, the pollen issues I used to have with using a spray I used to put up my nose every single morning to control it for 20 years. The pollen issues went away. No more sneezing, no more runny nose. My whole body was totally rebuilt in 2015. Fast forward 2 years. Here's a photo of me looking younger as time goes on. And this is in October 2017. As now you can see the beginning of 2019, what I look like now. So before I go into what this is, this breakthrough technology, what it does in the body, I'm going to talk about how the body heals itself. Everybody knows that the body has the ability and the capacity to heal itself. I'm not going to go too much into the science, but I'm just going to go through a little bit so you understand the mechanism, the chemical reactions that go on. You might have heard of the mitochondria within the cell. The mitochondria is these little power plants, little factories that produces the energy for our cells. As a byproduct of that energy production, there's a chemical reaction that takes place that changes the molecular structure of salt and water into these molecules called redox signaling molecules. They're signaling and communication molecules. These molecules, once produced, have got a massive job to do in a very, very short period of time. As a matter of fact, they only last for a split second to do what they have to do and what they should be doing within the body, and that is detecting cells and then determining or signaling the immune system to protect them if they're a good cell, repair them if they need repair, or destroy and replace if they're too far gone. These molecules are also responsible for activating antioxidants. We all know how important antioxidants are, but I can tell you that they're absolutely useless unless they're activated by these redox signaling molecules that we are producing naturally. They are also responsible for regulating our 12 major systems. Hopefully all of you guys on this call have got a heart. We do have a cardiovascular system. We've got an endocrine system, digestive system, skeletal system. We've got all these systems, pancreatic system, that need to keep in balance. And these molecules are responsible for keeping these systems in balance. These molecules are also responsible for reducing the oxidative stress in our body. That's our body's rusting. An example of that would be the plaque that builds up in arteries that causes heart disease. So anything where the body is trying to repair itself, but it's doing more damage than good, this damage has to be repaired or destroyed, replaced, or it leads to other problems within the body. These molecules are also responsible for detecting the bacteria, the virus, and the infection in our bodies. Without that detection, the body has no idea where these problems are. And they're also responsible for turning on genes, which increases the body's capacity and healing power. So, guys, these molecules are responsible for running everything from the top of our head to our toes, responsible in every single chemical reaction that takes place in our body. Now, the good news for children is that they actually produce these molecules in abundance. So up to the age of about 10, 12, 13 years old, we are producing these molecules in abundance. And that's why children heal and recover and repair so fast. They've got so much energy. By the time you get to my age at 50, I'm 51 now, we only have around about 50% production left. And by the time we get to 70, we only have around about 10% production left. So a 70-year-old is healing 10 times slower than what they did at the age of 10 years old. Now, that's the bad news for a 70-year-old anyway. The good news is that this company ASEA, and it didn't happen overnight, it took 17 years, has managed to change the molecular structure of salt water, medical grade saline solution outside of our body, into these stabilized, balanced redox signaling molecules and put them into a bottle. In this bottle is trillions and trillions and trillions of stabilized, balanced redox signaling molecules that is made from, all you're going to see on the back is salt and water. But once they change the molecular structure of salt water, it's not salt water anymore, but trillions of these molecules that are responsible for signaling and communicating with the body to our major systems to bring everything in, all its power to where the problem is and for the body to heal itself. We have an immune system. Without the communication and signals to the immune system has no idea where the problems are. So as we get older, unfortunately, cells are not detected and they start dividing and they're not detected, and all of a sudden an issue comes to the surface. Every single problem on the planet in anybody's body takes 5 to 20 years to come to the surface. By the time you have a symptom, you have got a major problem. These molecules are responsible for detecting the damage and signaling the body to where the problem is. The only thing on the planet that is 100% non-toxic, bioactive, which means it works, and native to the body, which means it's what the body produces. So that's the redox supplement that we can consume, trillions and trillions and trillions of these redox signaling molecules. There was another breakthrough that came in 2014 where ASEA was able to suspend these molecules in 2 natural products called Renew 28. This is a topical gel. Anything you don't like on the outside, you can apply these molecules to, no matter what it is, whether you're using it for wrinkles or for skin problems, for elasticity, to bring the elasticity back in your skin, anything at all, that any damage on your skin, anything at all that you don't like or you can feel from the outside, you can apply these molecules to. We recommend that you put it on 3 times in 5 minutes on anything that is hurting in your body and see how you're feeling after 10 minutes. So this is a breakthrough in itself. I normally say we cannot make any claims with this product, but I can make one. After I've been using this product for 4 years now. Prior to using it, I used to be quite ugly. All right, now let's move on. Keep your comments to yourself. Behind me is an incredible range of supplements. I'm not going to go into those. I'm not going to go into what else ASEA has, but I can tell you that we have got the most incredible skincare range on the planet because, as I said, we do have the molecules in the Renew 28 and also in a intensive serum with a couple of incredible products in a cleanser and a moisturizer, which can support the skincare range. Now, every single company on the planet has only got one half of the story. They only have the nutrition, the food. the things for us, the things that we need for our bodies, the things that we need for our cells to be fed. We do need to feed our cells nutrition. This is the other side of the story. Redox signaling molecules, which not only cuts to the chase, but it makes everything else work. So we have the labor force and we have the material for the body. And as I said, we are the only company that can provide the ultimate or the complete cellular health solution on the planet. So these supplements behind me, I said I won't go into them, but we've got an incredible little range of supplements called ASEA Via, incredible nutraceuticals that feed your cells the right nutrients that your cells need to keep your cells working at optimal level from a nutritional point of view. But as I said, we can also keep our cells working at optimal level from a signaling and communication point of view as well. So guys, that's my story back to health. That's a little bit about the breakthrough, the technology, and the products. I'm going to briefly touch on the opportunity. We have got an incredible opportunity. I came from being a very, very successful businessman here in Australia. I had several businesses when I got sick. I had to fire sale everything. And basically the next day I was thrown into hospital, which as you know, I spent 2.5 years in and out of this hospital. I couldn't work. My wife was looking after me. So we went through all that. When Bart introduced me to this product, I ignored the fact that there was an opportunity to help other people. After 5 months, I made a decision to help other people. It gave me the ability not only to have the satisfaction to help people and see that they got the product experience that I got, but also to receive some thank you checks from the company that gave me the ability to buy more product to put back into my body to make sure my health was moving in the right direction at the time. So there is a business model behind this. You may not be here for this. You may be here for your health. If you're here for your health, that's fine. We've got an incredible range of products that can help you with that. We do have a vehicle that can take you back to your health. Go back to the person who introduced you onto this call and talk to them how to set up a wholesale account, set up a product plan, and make sure you're on the right amount of product for 3 months so we can work with you to get the results that you need and you desire, the product experience, for you to have the belief to remain on the product, to take your body back to blueprint, to get you off all the medication that you're on. This is our goal. Great thing about it is Vertus Norton didn't sell out to the pharmaceutical industry because he knew that they were going to shut this down and bury this technology. He has left this technology, his legacy, to the world. He's also left an incredible business model that gives us the capability to share this with people and to receive thank you checks for doing so. 3.5 years ago, I was living in a van. 3.5 years ago, I could hardly afford to put food on the table. And 3.5 years ago, my health was coming back. Today, my wife and I travel the world full-time, sharing this incredible technology with as many people as possible. You know how passionate we are from what we've gone through. We don't stop talking to people all day, every day. And it's become a responsibility in this purpose-filled mission to get this to as many people as quickly as possible. There are so many people out there in the same situation that I was in. There's a lot of people out there, their bodies are hurting and the doctors have no answers at all. So you can adopt not only using the product for your health, but also ASEA as a vehicle to create wealth and financial freedom. If you're interested in that side, please reach out to the person who introduced you onto this call, and they can also set you up for success to help a lot of people and for you to join us on this purpose-filled mission as well. Vertus Norton has left his legacy to the world by not selling out to the pharmaceutical industry with his son, Tyler Norton. I'm going to leave my legacy to the world. I've never been able to find something that I've been able to do in life through traditional business to leave a legacy. This is the thing that I can leave my legacy through. And I hope that we can help you leave your legacy to the world as well by helping you to share this incredible breakthrough and help as many people as possible. Guys, thank you so much for coming on this call. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to listen to me. And as I said, go back to the person who introduced you and make sure that if you want to enjoy the health that we have and enjoy the lifestyle that we've got, don't hesitate, because I can tell you now there is not a bigger opportunity to do both on the planet. Be awesome, guys, and have a great year. Thank you so much.